Hey, what's up, world, and welcome to episode 142 of the Take One Podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and today we're going to be talking just about a few things. We're going to be talking about there's more development within the AMC thing. We're going to be talking about the movies that are new to rent on the stream, as well as I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on the Ezra Miller choking video, and then we're going to get into a movie review on a latest movie that came out on Netflix called Coffee and Kareem. All that within this episode. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about the first thing. So maybe a lot of you know, maybe some people, they haven't gotten the news yet, that AMC is kind of like in a bad way. I talked about it on last week's episode, which you can go back and check. There is a segment that you can just click on. If you don't want to listen to the whole podcast, you just listen to my thoughts on that. But I was basically talking about just how it's looking like AMC may not be able to bounce back from this because of a lot of spending that they were doing within the past couple years or whatever, and they were trying to look to turn a profit. And right when it looks like it was sunshine is on the field, things just started raining, and now it looks like it's a flood, and the rain just keeps coming, and the flood and the water just keeps rising. It just really looks bad for AMC. And just to put it all in perspective, that they are $4.9 billion in debt that they wanted to try to make a dent in doing it. And AMC Stubbs A-list was actually looking good toward the end of last year, turning a profit, and now it's just kind of looking crazy. And I got into all this or whatever, and going from that to the credit grade downgrade or whatever, went from a B- to a triple C-, and now AMC are talking to lawyers because they might end up, well, it's more than likely going to end up happening, but they're going to more than likely file for a Chapter 11 bankruptcy to try and help their business stay afloat, at least to a point to where if things start to look better by June, August, September, that they won't have to shut their doors for good. And it's kind of like crazy to look at that. I mean, a lot of businesses are looking like just kind of crazy right now as far as they won't be able to open up their doors once all this is over. And, Disney, even the big empire Disney that people just think is like, what is it? Valhalla, heaven, like just takes over everything. Even they're having their troubles. So if a big company like that is having troubles, you could see a company like AMC that's not as, big as Disney is going to have trouble, especially with all the spending that they've been doing. And it's kind of like I said before, like it's sad to hear that they have to go through this, but certain things that they need to do is, if they need to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, they need to do it. I mean, AMC, honestly, I can't really be like, oh, AMC is my favorite theater all the time. But if like whatever theater is near me, that's the theater I'm going to. I'm not about to sit here and go all out of my way, 30-something minutes away, just to go to an AMC movie theater, So it's like if there is a Shyamalite, I'm just pulling names out my ass, a Shyamalite movie theater near me that is only have like 4 theaters in Indiana and they're right near me, then I'm going to go to that theater. But whether it's a Carmike, New Vision, which is actually near me, a Cinemark, or a Regal, Marcus, whatever, I'm gonna go. But AMC, because they had the A-list and because they're so close, those are the theaters that I mainly go to, And it's just sad to look at it, is that that has really been a main component as to the reason why I've been able to go to the movies so much. Because other than that, I'm paying full admission, on 3D. I don't really go do 3D, but IMAX, Dolby, regular, 2D and all that stuff. It's like that's been a main component in helping me go see these movies that I otherwise would struggle going to go see, and it's just, it's crazy to hear that they're going to do this. But if this is to help them get back up and, stay stable until, they can actually start taking steps to bring their company back or whatever. Then do what they need to. Hopefully the government can help them out, or, just other companies that are able to can bail them out. I ain't gonna say bail them out, but, at least invest or help bring the company back up, because movie studios really need movie theaters to distribute it. And AMC is number one, has the most theaters in America, so it would be in a best interest for movie theaters to help. But I'm not saying that they need to, but if they wanted to pitch in and, do this and do that to help them along, I think it would work out best in the long run. But I mean, what can I say that I haven't said before? It is sad, because this is a crazy situation that we're in. But I mean, right now, we kind of need some type of a saving grace, something that is not looking negative all the time. And hopefully this situation for AMC gets better, because AMC Stubs A-List was a great service that they had, and I enjoyed using it way better than Movie Pass, and hell, hopefully they get things back in order. But with that out the way, let's go ahead and jump right into everything that's new to rent on the stream. Now, this is just movies that were in theaters or whatever, and now they're on digital and all that stuff. Like I said before, I'm going to try to incorporate other streaming services. It's crazy just looking up everything of what's coming new, but I'm going to try and find some type of structure. But for digital, coming out tomorrow, which is April 14th, which is actually the anniversary of my channel. It's the anniversary of my channel, and it's also the day that my mom passed. So it's kind of like, whatever. But I ain't doing nothing special, but, just whatever. Just something I would throw out there. But as of April 14th, the movies that are new to digital are Fantasy Island and Rhythm Section. Fantasy Island, I'm going to do a independent review. Believe I'm going to have it planned for Wednesday, so look out for that. And the Rhythm Section review is already on my channel, so go ahead and check it out. It's in the movie reviews playlist. And for physical media, Just Mercy is coming out Tuesday. I don't know when I'm going to have a review up for that. I'm going to try to have it sometime soon, but I haven't got one up for that yet. And also Underwater for physical release, and that review is up on my channel, so you can go ahead and check that out under the movie reviews or whatnot. And those are really just the movies that are coming out. And one movie that I did kind of miss, which is just a straight to Blu-ray streaming movies, is Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion. And that came out yesterday, which is a animated Mortal Kombat movie about Scorpion and everything else with his backstory. So I'm trying to get my hands I'm gonna try and get a hold of that. That way I can go ahead and watch that and hopefully do a review sometime soon on that. But in any case, let's move on to the Ezra Miller situation. So this is something that came out almost a week ago, about Ezra Miller. It was a video that shows the actor grabbing a woman by the neck and kind of forcing her to the ground, not like super hard, but kind of gently. And so upon watching it, you had your people thinking like, oh, this is fake. And then you have people that think, this is real, because, a lot of times, let's just put it in perspective. The video is just like not even 10 seconds. It's very short. It just shows him grabbing the woman by the neck, putting her to the ground, and then the camera goes down and it cuts off. So right there, it would lead people to believe that it is fake, because from the distance, it looks like Ezra Miller, but it could be somebody else that looks like him. And then with the video being so short, which comes into question, why is the video so short? If something like that is happening with an actor, anybody that has a camera that is like recording it is not about to sit there and record 5 seconds of it and just go, cut the, no. People are going to sit there and try and record as much, get a good facial shot and all this stuff. And people, you're going to record a lot more. So that was one of the other things that was really suspicious about the video, is that it wasn't a clear 100% look at his face to be like, yes, that is Ezra Miller. It was still a little cloud of doubt to where it's like, that could be somebody that looks like him, but it's not him. So that, on top of the length of the video, led people to believe that it could be fake, even though a lot of people really believe that that is him. So it comes out that it was actually him, and that basically he was at a bar, something happened with like some fans or whatever. He was approached by some fans, and I guess somehow, some way, they got pushy, and that altercation happened to where he grabbed a woman by the neck and put her down. Now, from what I read, is that the bar that they were at, he is basically kind of like a regular. He's been there before multiple times or whatever. And because it was a bar, the first thing that leads to my thinking is that he was probably drunk. It wasn't anything. I mean, just kind of like going into certain things that I've learned recently about Ezra Miller, is that he's not a good boy. He's had some kind of like, he has some like sketchy times, run-ins with the law and blah, blah, blah. But he's not a, straight A student. He is a person that has some type of like, stuff going on with him. So, and this is something I recently found out. I didn't even know. Ezra Miller wasn't really on my radar that much, even with being in Fantastic Beasts and in The Flash and kind of like some other little small roles that I've seen him in. I wasn't a big person to where it's like, I'm going to look up things about him. So learning this is just like, wow, okay, that makes sense that he is this type of person and that this happened. And even if alcohol is involved with what, his background entails, it's like, yeah, he may not be that type of a nice person that he can give off. I mean, I don't know, like, he just, I don't know, it's really surprising. But in any case, no one should put their hands on a female. I grew up with my mom, and she was a person of abuse. I wasn't around when this was happening, but she was abused or whatever, and she's always told me and my brothers, I have two older brothers, and she's always told us never to put your hands on a female. And I've kept that. Never put my hands on a female, never did anything of that nature. Don't get me wrong, females did push you to the point where I was like, I want to, but, I keep my anger in check. But like I said, there is no reason to put your hands on a female. And it's not too much that came out about this whole situation. You got reports of the night, people coming out and saying that, it was just an altercation and blah, blah, blah. And that, the fans were pushy. It's like, it's really no full details, at least that I found, as to why it happened. Like, were they saying something offensive? Were the fans drunk as well? Was it just that Ezra Miller was really drunk and he didn't want to be bothered and he felt some type of way and then it happened? Like, there is multiple ways that could have pushed this incident to happen. Not saying that it was justified, but there are other reasons. Like, both parties could have been drunk. One party could have been drunk and the other party sober, or sober enough to where, it's just the situation just kind of got lost control of. And it's like, it begs the question, what happens now? What is Warner Brothers going to do with it? Because he's a part of two franchises, Fantastic Beasts, as well as the DC franchise, the DCEU, which I like to call the BVS universe. But, what are they going to do with him? And are they going to fire him? Because I know a lot of people are petitioning, saying they're like, take him off of Flash and Fantastic Beasts, do away with him, castrate him, shun him. And I don't think that that's really going to happen. my views of Ezra Miller, like I haven't been a big fan. Let's just put it out there. I haven't been a big fan of Ezra Miller. I did like him up in the BVS universe as Flash. I did like him there. I wasn't over the moon, and I liked him better in Fantastic Beasts, but whatever. So I'm not here to say that, like, not here to defend him. I'm not here to go against him. But whatever Warner Brothers does, I'm okay with. He wasn't like, it's just whatever a person does, that's what they do. I don't condone it. I'm not behind it. I'm not going to support him or whatever. But at the same time, I don't think that Warner Brothers is going to really do anything. They might do something. I don't think that they will, because first of all, it wasn't nothing crazy like him actually beating up a woman. I mean, Johnny Depp was in a situation where Amber Heard basically accused him of domestic abuse, and you see that they put him up in Fantastic Beasts, and he's getting jobs now and all that stuff. So it's like, I feel like if it's to that point, what are they going to do? I feel like they're not going to get rid of him. They're going to keep going forward with these BVS universe. If Flash is in another movie, he's going to be, in another movie. If they're going to have another Fantastic Beasts, which they are planning on, he's going to be in there. And it may be kind of hard to get him to get certain jobs, but I feel like after a while, this is going to be behind us, and it's going to be something different, hopefully done with him and just his personal life, to where an incident or incidents like this won't happen. Hopefully that is the case, but I don't think that Warner Brothers is going to get rid of him. No matter how many petitions people put out, I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that he's going to keep going forward and all this stuff. Hopefully he puts out an apology and everybody looks past it. If not, then, I'm okay with it. I'm not a person that's going to be super mad if Ezra Miller is going to be a Flash again, or if he's not going to be, what's his name from Fantastic Beasts, but Cretans. I know it was like a weird-ass name, but, I'm just not going to be that. And let me reiterate what I said before. I do not condone hitting of women, abuse of women, children, whatever. I don't condone that. But with that said, it's kind of like a hard place. I mean, if you're against him, then I guess it seems like you're on the right side or whatever. But if you're for him, then you're condoning that. And it's just, I kind of stay away. I'm just seeing what happens. But yeah, it is a crazy situation. I would have never thought that this would be him. I wanted to believe that it was somebody else and they thought it was him. But hey, I mean, some people, you just don't know who they are. No matter how they portray themselves in public or, on camera and this and that. Behind the scenes, it's a totally different story. Or just behind closed doors is a totally different story. And hopefully this has a shining light at the end of it. So with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the last thing of this podcast, and then we could go ahead and cut it off, which is a movie review. One of the latest movies that dropped on Netflix, which is called Coffee and Kareem. Now, I felt really stupid because I didn't get the play on words with the title at first, and now I do. Now I can't get it out of my head. It's really very simple. But, I felt stupid nonetheless. But it's about a cop played by Ed Helms, who is in a relationship with a woman played by Taraji P. Henson, and her son, played by Terrence Little Gardenhigh, doesn't like the situation. He tries to hire gang members to off the cop, but instead witnesses a murder by these gang members, and now they're after him because he is, of course, a witness. Now it's up to him and the cop that he's tried to off for being in a relationship with his mother to stop this from happening. Along the way, they start to find out about all this corruption that's going on in the police department that has to do with dirty cops. And so, just getting into it, this is a comedy. All around, it's a comedy. The humor worked extremely well, but it was mainly due to Kareem, who I said before is played by Terrence Little Gardenhigh, who literally took this role and ran with it. Like, he's kind of over the top, but at the same time, he is just he's bursting with a lot of charisma. Just a lot of stuff he does and say. He completely steals the show, completely steals the scene in every scene that he's in, and he just literally commands the screen and just says, like, I want you to look at me and what I'm doing. Now, I really did enjoy it. It took me off guard. I didn't think that he was going to be bursting with this, but he actually did do a really good job. And Ed Helms, he's just really just kind of Ed Helms. He's still enjoyable. He didn't really add anything crazy to the role. He didn't add really anything crazy to the whole movie overall, but he was still enjoyable. Taraji P. Henson, she just played a black mom. Honestly, it wasn't really too much for her to work with, but she did good as well, and she did have a good performance. In this movie, there is a bit of inconsistency with one of the scenes. I'm not really going to say what happens in it, but it's a lot of things that happen with this scene, and even like a later scene that connects to it, that it's like, there should have been more cops that kind of like, answer this, but there was a little bit of inconsistency and stuff where I guess whoever was writing this was like, they just kind of forgot to add certain things to it, and it felt like something was missing. Maybe not, but it just felt inconsistent on that point. This movie was very predictable with just kind of the reveal. It's like, as you're watching it, certain characters act a certain way. It's like, yeah, that person, has something to do with what's going on. When it comes to that, it's very, very predictable. This is one of those comedies that is overall just totally exaggerated with a lot of just the reactions and stuff that's happening up in there. It's not anything that's taken too serious or anything like that. It's one of those movies where you just kind of have to suspend disbelief and just kind of go with it in order to really enjoy it. The ending was good, excluding the very last part of the actual end of the movie. I did like it. It's just that last part was just, they could have threw it away and did away with it. It would have been like a perfect ending for this movie. But as far as an overall movie, it's not a movie that's great. It really isn't. Besides the acting from Terrence Gardenhigh that I really did enjoy, everything else is just, whatever. No other performances that really stand out other than the kid that played Kareem. And yeah, it was really, it's an enjoyable movie, but it's nothing great. I had to give it a miss. But at the same time, I really did enjoy it. It's just not a movie that I would really completely brag about to everybody. But if you, during quarantine, want something new and you have Netflix, you might want to check it out. You may end up liking it more, but I just thought it was okay. And so that ends this episode of the Take One Podcast. I'd like to thank you guys for joining me. I will have more movie reviews out on my channel later on this week and more podcasts. And I will catch you then. So, peace out. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell? Make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.